The reason why I feel like I figured it out because I love the idea of traveling, seeing the world.
Mm.
So I'm thinking in my head, I like cameras. I want to travel. So I said, I guess this camera thing is not really going to where I want to go. So I went to Amazon, right? And I found the person that told me about like the videographer content agency side of things. It's like everything happens for a reason. So
God is good.
yeah, God is good. This one camera right here.
Yeah.
It's almost as good as my camera. My camera is better, like the bigger one is better, but it has the quality to like be almost as good.
What was your first camera that you got at 22?
My first camera? I don't even want to say it. I feel embarrassed.
Do it, because someone else is gonna start from there, man.
You sure?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Welcome to the High Performance Human Podcast, where high achievers learn to master themselves, not just their success. I'm Creighton Bertrand, a certified high performance coach, here to share practical tools to rewire your habits and mindset. If you're ready to move beyond good enough and step into real transformation, you're in the right place. Let's get to work.
All right, guys, welcome back. I'm so excited today to get Zack with ProFilms, which is not his last name, even though you might think it is. But Zack, dude, I'm so excited to get you in here to talk about kind of your journey on what got you to become the ProFilms. Zack, for anyone that doesn't know, he just helped us with creating and our videographer for our event that we did down in Salt Lake City a couple weeks back. I know he's also helping out a lot of high profile people like Jamil, Pace, all these other people out there that a lot of us know. So I was so excited to connect with him. He is just as an amazing person as he is at a videographer and content creator. So excited when him and I connected. I was like, man, got to get you in to help all these people out, to inspire them and get them to start creating some of their own content. So Zack, thanks so much for making some time for us today, brother.
Of course, bro. Thanks for having me, man. This is exciting. As soon as you told me about the podcast, I was like, please let me on. I want to be a celebrity on the podcast, bro. Like, for sure. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Awesome. Well, I just have to ask right up front, like, what is the camera that you're using as a professional film videographer? I always want to know what's behind the hood.
The one I have right now is the A7 III. We have the A7 S3 right here. And then we have a FX3 right there. But we have multiple, but this one is the FX3 on it really depends on the lens too, right? I think the lens is like I don't know if you know about all that stuff. I'm sorry.
I don't know any
I'm such
of
a geek.
No,
I was gotta go into the millimeters, the aperture.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm such a
No, I love that. That's how you know that you're probably doing something that you actually enjoy. Like, I could talk to you about neurons and neural pathways and neuroscience, but no one ever. My wife always yells at me. She's like, dude, no one cares about that. I'm like, are you kidding? Like, that's so exciting to me.
I would get lost,
like, no.
bro.
Yeah, that's all right, man. Well, dude, I'm so excited. I'm curious on how long have you been going into doing filming? Is this something that has always been a passion of yours, or is this something that kind of just came up? Because I'm always so curious, obviously getting so passionate about doing cameras, and I've tried it, but it just never excited me enough. Like, it's funny because actually my dad is a big photographer, and so he tried to teach me and show me, aspect ratios, apertures, focus, and I'm just like,
ISO,
no care.
Like that.
None of it ever. I was like, can I just do a point and shoot? Like, that makes so much more sense to me.
Press and go. That's it. For me, it first started, honestly. So when I was growing up, we had this album. I don't know. I think everybody has an album, right? Like family album.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I always seen the pictures in there, and I'm like, yo, like, who's taking all these amazing pictures? Like, it had like the exact fun moments, having people celebrating, having, even to me as a kid, right? Well, as a baby, getting all these good moments of all my family. I'm like, yo, who's behind the camera? I always thought that, right?
Take me back to a moment, because I remember when I look at our family photos, I know my dad was that person on the other side taking the pictures, and there were 7 kids. And so getting us all lined up, it was like a bunch. as a bunch of cats. Like
Yeah,
all
I
of
can
us
imagine
were
7.
crying and complaining. And so my association with taking family pictures was misery and someone yelling at us, telling us to get in line.
To get in line,
So
yeah.
yeah, it was never like, oh my gosh, this is so magical. It was
Oh,
like, oh my gosh, it's so miserable to because to try to get
7, yeah.
nine people.
Well, 9, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids, I think for me, maybe it started around like, I don't know. It could be. It's really young, like maybe like 7, 8, 9.
Wow.
Like around that
Phenomenal.
time. Yeah,
Okay.
I seen that, and I was like, "Yo, who's taking these pictures?" Obviously it was my dad, but it wasn't just
Oh
The
wow.
amazing thing about it is it wasn't just me and my sister. It was more like my cousins, my
Mm,
aunties, my grandma, like every type of picture. I'm like, "Yo, I want to capture amazing moments, right? Like I want to be
mm,
that person to get these amazing." I don't know. So I think that's where it originally started from.
okay.
And then to fast forward into me getting my first camera at about 20. Yeah, about 20. I remember asking my parents, I was like, yo, can I get a camera when I was like maybe like 13? We couldn't
Okay.
afford it at the time, but
Hmm.
I remember, so fast forward getting my first camera, 20, playing around with
What were
it.
you doing between pre-20? Were you still doing some photography
No,
stuff?
not
Like
at all. Not at
still
all.
so nothing. So you were
Mm-mm.
kind of forgot about 7 or 8. You're like,
Hmm.
whoa, these pictures are amazing. Life happens. What were
Hmm.
you doing prior to 20? Like what was your interest?
Prior to 20, I was just really just trying to figure it out, right? I think
So whoa, pause. Are you saying that you did figure it out then?
I did.
Oh
And here's
wow.
why.
Okay, cool. I like to hear this.
The reason why I feel like I figured it out because I went to school after high school, graduated high school, didn't really know what to do. But I
Okay.
knew I wanted to travel, right? I love the idea of traveling, seeing the world.
Mm,
So I'm thinking in my head, I like cameras. I want to travel. So I said, I guess this camera thing is not really going to where I want to go. So I'm saying, hey, let me go to school for aviation, right? So I went to
oh, I didn't know that.
college. Yeah, I went to college for aviation for I don't know, bro, for like a couple months. I hated it. But you
Mm,
have to be a genius like you. Like you, that's your thing, okay? Being a genius and all those things are your thing, bro. Don't
no,
shake
I
your
don't know
head.
about that. I don't know
Don't shake
about
your head.
that.
But
You can do ISO, aperture, like that's all.
yeah, the
You
simple
think
stuff, right?
numbers would be good for me, but no, I hate those numbers. They
Oh,
don't make
okay.
sense.
They don't make
But
sense. But you get them to make sense.
yeah.
But so got a camera, didn't really do too much with it. Got into school for aviation, but because I just love the idea of traveling. So I'm thinking maybe if I pick space, maybe
Ah,
I'll go in
beautiful.
there.
And
Maybe
what
I
age? That was 18. You're like, cool, let me go for
yeah,
aviation because I like to
19.
travel and that will
Yeah,
give me that. Okay, yeah, makes
yeah.
sense.
And then, dropped out of college for that. Started working at Amazon warehouse,
Okay.
right?
You were there for a couple months, you said. So at
Yeah.
18, you were doing aviation. That wasn't working. How did you? I love to go into the pivot. So, how did
Mhm.
you decide that no, aviation isn't the thing? Was it just because it was hard and you weren't
I think
doing
I
the
just
work, or?
realized it was hard, but it wasn't really that. I think I just realized that aviation has so much paths. Like you have the engineer, you have the pilot, you have I don't know. I just when I started to get into it, it was more so the engineering part of things. And engineers can't travel. I wanted to be the person on the plane traveling. So then I'll have to be a
Mhm.
pilot, right? So just I realized it and I was like, I don't know if I want to go to school to be a pilot,
Okay.
because years of that, right? And
Yeah.
I'm young, I want to travel now. So
Okay.
at that point, I was working at Walmart, going into Amazon actually. And I remember this manager, she was so on me, so on me, so on me. So I was one of those people that was just stalking up the aisles and everything, right? Fast. And then she's on me, on me, on me. So I was just like, yo, like, she just made me leave the job. So I
Okay.
went to Amazon, right? And I found the person that told me about like the videographer content agency side of things. So it's like failing forward because I remember like, yo, like if that lady never got on my nerves and
Hmm.
kept killing me, I would never found that person,
Right.
right? So it's like everything happens for a reason. So
God is good.
yeah, God is good. So at that time, I was reading books, like see books behind me, reading books, trying to figure out the mindset of things, and I got into network marketing.
Okay.
So while I'm at Amazon, I'm doing network marketing, right? Because one, I'm getting to go to seminars around the world because remember I like to travel, and the mindset was good. to let me find out what I wanted to do, right? So that's even the reason why I started talking to the guy at Amazon, because I was just talking to everyone.
So you're at Amazon, you're talking to him. What were you exploring at that time? Were you still fixated like, man, I'm working this job at Amazon and I really want to figure out how to get into traveling? Was that your
Yeah.
main thing?
So the main purpose was, they always told me in network marketing to be the most friendly around. You don't know, she's selling products, right? You could be friendly, sell products, whatever you got to do, right?
Okay.
But just the mindset of it, you never know. So you just always talk to people. I guess in the end, it's to sell a product, but you don't necessarily have to. You build a relationship, you plant seeds, right?
Right.
So that's more so the mindset I was going to be the friendliest person around, and I was,
Okay.
right? Probably everybody at Amazon I talked to, and that was a big warehouse. So got to him, COVID hit. He was telling me, before COVID hit, he was telling me about, yo, I want to take this thing to the next level. I want to take it to the next level. So that's cool, right? But that's not really what I wanted until I started seeing the results. After COVID hit, I started seeing him travel. I'm just like,
He
wow,
hit your thing, yeah.
with a camera, which I already love. So I'm like, yo, I love cameras and he's traveling. Ding ding. Right? There's two things that I learned is a person that's process minded and outcome focused. Right? Process minded is, you want to go through school, which we tried to take that route, the traditional route. I was like, no, I'm not that. I'm more outcome focused, right? I see the outcome and I was like, yo, I want to do that. Right.
Okay.
So it's two things I already love. So talk to him about it, learn from, other people, and just really started taking it from the next level, started reaching out to people until I got in contact with like big guys, right? Like started shooting, trying it out at the gym, going out, posting content of myself, and then, networking. Got to shoot with big people like Pace, right? Got to travel the world with Pace, Jamil, right?
Mhm.
So, and then networking with other people that know other people, right? And then Ryan Pinay, like it just keeps going and going and going, and then building my content agency now to where I travel all the time now, right? To where that's where I met you. I met you in a place I'd never been before in my life, Salt Lake, with beautiful
Yeah.
mountains, bro.
Yeah, that
Right,
was crazy, right? I was surprised.
bro. That was. Have you ever been to Salt Lake or?
I drove through when I was a kid. We would drive through a bit when we'd be traveling, but I never actually stayed there.
Yeah,
But yeah, that was really pretty. I mean, where I'm at
amazing,
now
bro.
up in, dude, you have to come over here to Washington. We have some
Oh, you are in
phenomenal
Washington.
mountains. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I
So,
think next time when I'm going to Salt Lake, I'm actually gonna hike up a mountain.
oh yeah. I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
when we were at that event, some people woke up at 4
Yep.
and they said that it was only a few minute hike, that it
Yeah.
was like
She's taking me. She's
walking
taking me.
distance. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mary, but I think Peter and some other people like woke up early in the morning and went on a hike from the hotel. I was like, well, I
Yeah.
didn't know you could
From
do
the
that.
hotel.
I
Wow, I didn't know that.
I didn't either. I was like, man, I want to do that next time.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
Mary's taking me. So that should be fun.
yeah, at 20, you were still working at Amazon. Corona came. You saw this guy out doing the thing,
Hmm.
and you got.
At this age, I'm like 20. I'm like 22.
Okay, were you making content and stuff prior to that, or when did you go? Okay, cool. Oh, okay, cool.
No, I started making content when I first got my camera. So like
Okay.
around like 21, 22.
And what
Um,
was the beginner camera that someone needs in order to start making content?
I would say somebody needs nowadays.
Don't grab your DJI.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been searching for one of those since you told me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to get one.
This one camera right here.
Yeah.
This one camera, guys.
It's better than this one.
Yeah, it's better than this one. It's better than
Wow.
this one, guys.
I just
The
love that it tracks you. Like that
Yeah.
alone, when you
Mhm.
showed me that I could take it to the gym and it'll track me, or if I'm doing something that it actually looks like a
Yep.
professional kind of fall. I was like, oh my gosh, I can make such better content
Such better
with
content. The
that.
quality is almost as good. It's like I think I believe a one sensor. Don't quote me on that, but it's almost as good as my camera. My camera is better. Like the bigger one is better, but it has the quality to like be almost as good. So I would
Huh.
say like for beginners, start off with a DJI Pocket 3, right? The DJI Pocket 3 is a really
And
good
how much
camera.
should you pay for one of those? I've literally been looking, and I feel like between 300 and 400, I can get a used one.
Yeah, you can get a used one for about 3 or 4. New ones range. I got mine for about They definitely went up. I don't know how, but they definitely went up about $100. So if
Oh
you get
wow,
a creator package, you get a microphone and
yeah,
an extra,
battery.
yeah, battery pack. So that's good, but that's could range you around 700 or 800.
Okay.
But definitely the Pocket 3 is where you want to go, especially for it's so affordable. I tell so much clients, yo, get this, especially if you don't want to necessarily have a videographer right now, or you can't, or you by yourself, right? So I would definitely recommend that. And then, have fun. Like that's one of the things I say the most. Have fun with that. But to definitely get that, and then maybe an A7 III if you want to step it up to the next level. But it's
Wait,
just so
so
much.
what was your first camera that you got at 22? I think you said 21, 22.
Around 20. My first camera, I don't even want to say it. I feel
Do
embarrassed.
it, because someone else is gonna start from there, man.
You sure?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Because
Um,
it
I-
allowed you to move forward. You said fail forward.
yeah.
It was like so I'm gonna throw this in and then I want to hear what it is. I remember one time I wanted to, my brother-in-law is a phenomenal, like he owns all these records out in Spokane for ascending mountains on a mountain bike. Like he's so good at just being crazy disciplined and pushing himself past what is even humanly possible. And I was like, man, I really kind of interested in mountain biking. Like, I want to get a mountain bike. What do you have? I'm
Oh,
gonna go
nice.
get that.
Hmm.
And he's like, what? And I go, yeah, what mountain bike do you have? I'm going to get the same mountain bike you have. And he said the best thing. He's like, you haven't earned the right to have my mountain bike. I'm like, what do you mean?
Mm.
He goes, you should go get a Huffy or Mongoose and go ride up a mountain and see how hard it is before you go and drive something as amazing as mine. Because he goes, the problem is with mine, I have carbon fiber pedals, I have carbon fiber seat, I have everything to maximize how light my bike is. You won't appreciate, you won't understand how every
Okay.
little gram makes such a huge difference.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, what a beautiful way to see it. So going back to your camera, I think it's the same thing. Like if you don't have something bad, you won't appreciate something that's good. Like if you see these with spoiled kids all the time that they're given everything and they just take it for granted.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn, that's really a good way to think about it. I never thought about it like that. Yeah. And you're right. So maybe starting off in the beginning, like for me, it was a Canon Rebel 3. And the
Okay.
reason why I hated saying that is because I'm not even Team Canon anymore. I'm
Mm.
only Sony. It's like this unspoken thing with Canon users and Sony users
Mm-hmm.
that they just dislike each other, bro.
It's
It's
like
so weird.
Apple and
Yeah,
Android.
Android, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Android's better for the record for anyone listening, but
Android, you
Apple's
said,
camera is phenomenal.
oh,
That's why I
I
have
don't
an
know about
Apple.
that one. I gotta disagree with that one. But
I
teach his
do
own.
know.
Teach his
No,
own, brother.
I could literally, we could have a whole debate about this, but yeah,
Okay,
the
okay.
camera,
You're the tech
you
guy.
got
You're the engineer here, so
you guys win with the camera. The camera on this is not
some.
unparalleled to any
I'm not gonna lie.
Android.
Some Android cameras though, the Pixel I heard are pretty good.
They're good, but the thing is that Apple, as soon as you take a picture, it auto processes it. So it
Mm.
literally like sends it through its own Adobe Photoshop and enhances the crap out of the picture.
Oh wow,
So
really?
it's not that it takes a better picture, it's that its processor auto enhances it automatically. And
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
why it looks so good. But it actually doesn't have as good as pixel and resolution as the other cameras. It's just its processor enhances it. So it looks so phenomenal. Anyway,
Oh
that's what
wow,
it
yeah.
is.
You just blew my mind with that. See, that's the engineering. Okay, I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
it.
yeah. So anyway, okay, so you had the Canon Rebel 3,
Hmm.
and that's what you started with.
I started with that, and then eventually went to the A7 III.
Okay.
That's like a starter camera for Sony, right? That's what changed it all, because that's like a hybrid camera with photos and videos, right?
Okay.
Rebel is just more. I would say more pictures. Canon
Yeah.
is really good for pictures, right? But Sony is really good hybrids, low light, everything. So that's why, switched over to that. So
Okay.
it's just really good with everything you need. So, and
And
then
then once you switched over, when did you start like seeing this as a career or as a way, or when did you decide that, yeah, this is the thing I really want to go all in on this, on
mm,
photography, on videography, whatever it was?
so while doing it, while seeing like, friends do it and them taking it to the next level, being around like the best at it, like having a content agency, going around seeing it, I remember having one client. Remember, I'm still working at Amazon while, doing this thing,
Okay.
right? So I remember my girlfriend was so upset with me because I used to skip work. Like they had this thing called VTO where you can like opt out do work. I used to skip work and just learn how to edit, learn how to do camera stuff. And she's like, "Babe, you have to make, we have to stay in work." But I'm like, "Yo, this is gonna be it. Trust
This
me.
is it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is it. Like this is what's gonna take us out of there." So she believed in me.
Wow.
And then, it just went from there. But it was just one client that I was like, yo, you know what? He's paying me consistently. I'm just gonna leave Amazon. And then that I think I don't know how much people don't talk about that enough. Like having that transition into a 9 to 5 mindset all your life. Not necessarily a 9 to 5 mindset, but having a 9 to 5, getting paid constantly every single week,
Yeah.
knowing you're gonna get paid every single week, to switching over and relying on faith and relying on skill, right? That's such a huge thing because now it's all on you, right?
Yeah.
And it puts batteries in your back, like, yo, I have to do this. So that's what it did. And ever since then, 2022
Okay.
or 23, maybe. I don't know. I have to go back and look now. It's 25, so it has to be 22, maybe. Yeah, I just haven't looked back and just been killing it, consistently helping other videographers and just
So
killing it.
what would you say to the person that is like, cool, I want to leave my 9 to 5? Like, how do you, I think this is such a big thing that so many people run into, knowing when is the quote unquote right time, or what are the indicators that you had
Yeah.
if you could go back and tell someone, let's say that you're mentoring someone that like, hey, yo,
Mm.
Zach, I'm ready to get out. What should I be looking for to be satisfied for me to jump out? Am I ready?
Mm, that's a good one. I would say don't do the crazy thing like I did and just relied on one client because that one client ended up leaving. Then you have to do side stuff.
So, do you want proof of concept first, or would you recommend someone that's never even done or had a paying client to be like, yo, Zach, man, this is it. Like, I love it. I'm so passionate. I'm just going to
Mm.
quit and figure out how to make it work.
Nah, don't do that. That's the hard way.
I
I
would
would
agree.
say to make it, and it's all going to be hard. You have to choose your hard, right? At the end of the day, they're all going to be hard. But what I would say is, first off, find people that's doing what you want. That's the first
Mm,
thing, right? And then get cool with them. So just in case, if they'll give you side jobs, like sometimes, like even me right now, like sometimes I'm all tied up. I can't do everything, right? I can't clone myself, right? That's why I have a team now. But even with that, some people hit me up like, "Hey, do you have this gig? Do you have that gig?" And I can't necessarily give it to anybody, right? So get okay with people close, like that's in the same field as you, because they might give you certain things. So when you're like down bad, right, you can get filled up with that, right? At the end of the day. So I would say definitely have at least one or two clients, monthly clients, right? And that's another thing, right? Going to events all the time, right? When you go to events all the time, people know you, people are recommending you gigs all the
mm,
time. You have, 1 to 3 clients a month, right? Whatever that's playing you, when it's something consistent and you're growing, that's when you should decide, like, yo, but still have your money all these times when you're doing it, Make sure you have that 9 to 5. Don't quit the 9 to 5 because that's what fills your business up.
right.
And then eventually you can say, yo, it's time. And
Well,
I couldn't make that decision for myself, honestly. It was more so the people around me like, bro, it's time. So that's why you need to have those certain people in your back because sometimes you might like, nah, it's not time, it's not time. You might doubt yourself, right? Having
yeah,
imposter syndrome, but that's why you need people around you that's doing what you do at a high level to tell you, nah, it's time.
I love that idea. The environment plays such a huge part. And that's something that I teach a lot of people in coaching of like your environment is huge, whether it's just this physical environment, but also like your social
Yeah.
environment plays such a huge role in everything. But the other thing that I want people to recognize that I don't know if this is what you did, but by you hanging out and just being associated with these higher profile people that are doing what you want, if someone else sees you with that person, like I can't tell you the number of times people have associated me with Pace or whatever, just because I hang out with them or have done stuff. Like, so just
Mhm.
being around the environment of people that you want to shadow,
Yep.
people be like, oh my gosh, I saw Zach hanging with this guy. and I like that guy. So if this guy's with him, then like, yeah, I'm gonna reach out to this guy.
Yeah, exactly. I think that right there changes the trajectory of things. Like you being around a certain people, a certain person, and they imagine you like, because regardless, they say first impressions matter, right? So if you see that somebody with the person that you idolize or that you really like around that person, every time they see you, they're gonna think about that person and they're gonna light up, and then
Well, you
it goes
still their
on.
credibility.
Exactly.
Let's go with, let's just say pace, or
Essentially,
let's
yeah.
like, let's say Trump. Like, cool. If I see Zack around Trump, I already, let's say that I love Trump, whatever, and I trust him. All this. If Trump trusts Zack and I trust Trump, therefore by association, I now trust Zack.
Yeah, and that's what really changes it. If you can get around these people and please, like have good personality, right? Because when I'm going to these things, I'm having a good personality and a positive mental attitude, and
Yeah.
it builds on top of that, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, yo, like I like this guy, so why not shout him out? Why not? And people see that, and then it goes up from there. So
Yeah. Well, plus I think you coming in of you saying, cool, get around these people and offer to help them. I think people's egos, I mean, obviously everything that I coach, ego is usually like the worst thing for anyone that's holding you back. So when you
ego and
go in of
attitude.
like, hey, Zack, I want to help you, but if you're not going to pay me, I'm not going to do it. Zack's like, well, I don't need you to help me. Like, then get out of here. But
Yeah.
if you can go in and like, hey, man, I really want to learn, I'm willing to put my ego, my value, whatever, like, what is it that I can do to learn to get better? Just because I want to help out, like that's going to help you out so much more than just sitting and doing nothing and waiting. Yeah.
Nothing. And the attitude matters, right? And I think just going the extra mile, right? Because even in starting off being a videographer, having a low ego and going around, people that, because sometimes you do have an ego, like I can do that too,
Oh
right?
yeah.
But going
Oh, for
around
sure.
videographers, right? That's high level, going
Mm-hmm.
around them and just putting my ego and just learning. Yo, you need me to
Mm-hmm.
do something? Like driving far. I live in Fort Lauderdale. A lot of them live in Miami. Driving 30, 40 minutes, whatever I have to do just to learn. Having the abundance to even want to learn, going out, like, so I think that's what matters. Just going the extra mile and just putting the ego to the side, as you said. I think ego and attitude, just, those two things and having a positive mental attitude, that's what's going to take you to the next level.
Yeah. And
Anybody, not just videography or.
oh yeah, I would agree for everything in life. And I would challenge everyone as well to like, if you're not willing to put your ego aside for this thing, then there's probably a good chance that you don't want it that bad.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Because like if we go back to you at
fire.
Walmart when that lady was like, oh, you're terrible, whatever, you weren't like, oh my gosh, I just love this thing so much, I'm willing to
Mm-hmm.
let this person yell at me. You're like, nope, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it comes to camera or any of this stuff, people are like, hey, I need you to do these low hanging jobs, your ego is going to be smacked. You're like, that's fine. And literally that's how it is with my relationship with my wife, of like love. It's like I'll put my ego, my desires, my wants below what her desires and what her wants are, because
That's
that's
so far.
true love, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would challenge any of you guys that are like, oh, am I doing what I love, whatever? Would you do it for free? Would you do it even if you
Mm-hmm.
sucked at it? Because if you aren't, then this is what I talk about, a lot of conditional goals. I'm only willing to do it if it's easy, if it's quick, if I get paid, if. But if you really want something, you're willing to do it regardless. Like this is literally what you're supposed to do when you go into a relationship. It's unconditional love. It's
Unconditional
not
love.
love with conditions.
Yeah.
And that was me as an
That's fire.
engineer. It was all conditional. If you didn't pay me, I wasn't engineering. But this, when it comes to coaching, you couldn't pay me not to coach. And it's like, oh yeah, that makes so much more sense.
Okay, that's fire. I didn't know that. Okay, because you're so good at it. Yeah.
Oh, thanks. But that's because it's my passion. Like
Yeah.
I would be studying and reading and doing all this stuff for free when people didn't pay me.